Hi und herzlich willkommen hier auf pierosini.com, die Weinshow. Und ja, wir sind heute in Italien zu Gast hier in Carmignano beim Weingut Capezzana. Unser heutiger Gast, herzlich willkommen, ist der Count Ugo Contini Bonacossi. Und piacere per essere qui nella mia show. Für die meisten von euch, ihr werdet ja wahrscheinlich nicht so gut Italienisch sprechen, deswegen haben wir uns darauf geeinigt, halb auf Englisch zu sprechen. Yeah, I just talked to the audience, I talk in English.
Very good.
It's very good.
We speak in English.
And well, why don't you introduce yourself and tell something the people about Capezzana, Carmignano, and the consciousness to be responsible for the continuity of 1,200 years of success of working with vineyards.
This is a document.
Yeah.
Perhaps the place was there before, 1,200 years ago. Well, you want me to introduce myself? You said my name. I am the oldest of a family, of a big family. I say more the chief of a tribe, because I have 7 children and 16 grandchildren and 2 great-grandchildren.
Wow.
So we are here in Capezzana, which is in a wine farm, as you said, very old one. We have a contract which shows how Capezzana was already wine and oil, 804, so it was 1,200 years, in fact. But it was, before that, it was already a wine farm.
Okay, and particularly your family, when did they start to live here in Capezzana, or other words, to work with wine?
Well, my family has not been so long as Capezzana. For a long story of Capezzana, still it's almost 100 years from my grandfather. He bought the farm, and then my father, and then myself, and now the children are looking after it. I'm always in business.
Okay.
Because the children, you need to have somebody who puts things together, because sometimes they have different opinions, and so I'm
okay.
kind of
so it's totally Capezzana's, totally family business, right?
It's a family business.
Okay, and so what is the magic thing about Carmignano, the place where you produce wine?
Carmignano is a very lucky place for climate and soil, which is the most important things for wine.
Of course. Yeah.
After that is certainly man. You must try to do your best for what you give. But the character of Carmignano is a place which is warm in the day and cool at night.
So it's good for the aromas of the grapes.
It's good for the ripening of grapes.
Yeah.
Because we are not high, so the day is warm. We're about 200 meters on sea level.
Yeah.
But we are near the Apennines, and so we normally have breeze in the night, not cool breeze coming down from the mountains.
Okay.
And this is then it's the old tradition, because the tradition is very important. Tradition is the result of so many generations trying to do better. So you must continue to go on. Tradition is not a statue; it's like a ship going on.
Okay.
And so you must try to do your best. For example, and today you can control the temperature during the fermentation of wine, which is much better of what happened when, for example, in warm summers, the wine where the must was fermenting at high temperature and had to stop and then start again, which was very bad for the wine. So.
Okay. I have to tell you, because some months ago, I even knew something about Capezzana. I was in a Bordeaux tasting with very good red wines from Saint-Julien, Saint-Estèphe, like we had du Cru Bocaillou, we had from Saint-Julien, we had Léo Villascas from other appellations, very high quality, good wines. And we had, there was a pirate, a Magnum. And we had drunk this night, and this was from the year, there was 90 Ghiaie della Furba, and it topped every wine. And so this was the moment I decided I have to come here to visit you, because I was also curious, because I read that you start to grow, let's say French wines, varieties in the 60s or 70s, right?
Well, French varieties were here before. I mean, at the time when Catherine de' Medici, part of the royal family of Florence, became Queen of France, at that moment there was a great exchange, and the Cabernet Sauvignon came here. So the French say it's not an Italian variety, but after all, all the French varieties have been brought by the Romans, so they're not French varieties.
Okay, it's never thought about that, yeah?
So then we have this, in our Carmignano, D.O.C.G, we have 20% Cabernet Sauvignon and the maximum 80% of Sangiovese, which is our variety, Toscan variety.
But
But in Ghiaie della Furba instead it was all French varieties.
All French.
All French. And that was a kind of experiment I did
Ghiaie della Furba is
many years ago. I'm 19 years old, but this is not as old as me.
But you had to be very convinced about the French varieties to grow them here in Carmignano.
Well, we are convinced because we had this Cabernet Sauvignon, which proved to be doing very well here. It still has the character of the area. The character of the area is something very important in wine, because everybody is doing good wines, but nobody will be able to do a Carmignano wine, a wine of Capezzana, in another area. For example, the Americans imported Sangiovese.
Okay.
Sangiovese in America can do good wines, but they're not absolutely similar to our wines. They're different wines.
So Carmignano is always also, of course, Sangiovese, 80% or something like that,
80%
right?
Sangiovese, yes.
So today we're gonna taste two wines. Yeah, we have the 2007 Carmignano.
This is Carmignano. This is the one which is made with
Villa Capezzana.
Villa di Capezzana.
Also mal hier kurz, put in the camera. Here. Villa Capezzana, 2007, right? Okay. And next one.
And that instead is made from Cabernet, Merlot, and Syrah.
Okay.
So it's all completely French varieties.
Ghiaie della Furba.
Ghiaie della Furba, which was
Ghiaie della Furba.
an experiment I did.
2005. Okay.
It's a wine which had a success from the beginning. Because when I started doing this experiment, I was younger then. I was not 90, but it was in 1979, so I was a bit younger than now. And everybody said, well, you will not succeed. We should put this back into the other wine because it will. Instead, it was a success. We had a tasting here with many different tasters, and the result was very positive. And so we went on, and it's one of they call them super Tuscans,
Okay.
At that time, it was a Sassicaia, which was, now it's a D.O.C., but it was super Tuscan, and this one, it was the first.
I wouldn't call them super Tuscans, I would call them ultra Tuscans. It's very good,
very kind, but
I'm a big fan, and that's why I'm here. But I think we're going to taste the wines together?
Yes, of course.
Okay, also, once again, the first wine is the Villa Capezzana 2007.
Very good, very nice vintage.
Yeah? Can you tell the people something about 2007? Because everybody only talks today about 2006.
2007 had the full characters of Carmignano. Carmignano, it's an area which has a very good balance. I must say a word which it's not modest, elegance.
Okay.
This is the character of this vintage particularly, but all the vintages. In a good area, there is difference between one vintage and the other, but there is always a kind of line. If you go in an area which is not so good, you may have a good vintage and then nothing like it. But if you are in a good area, and Carmignano is really one of the best areas, it's not my opinion, it's true.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
And then you can always recognize as a Carmignano. The character of the place is this soft tannins.
Okay.
So the wines are never hard, even when they're young. They're pleasant even when they're young. But they age so well. You have wines which are more than almost my age, you know.
Okay.
1925 is the oldest wine.
I heard you go skiing, eh? With your age, you go skiing.
I'm 1921, so
it's crazy, eh? Yeah.
But the wines can age very well, and even when they are very old, for example, we tasted some time ago a bottle of 1930, it's still a nice wine to drink. Different aromas, you know, very old wines have different aromas, but still it's a wine, it's pleasant, it's really.
So for drinking like Villa Capezzana, it's a wine for drinking young, or you say, okay, let's wait 5 years and then let's go?
Well,
it depends on the vintage.
Now this vintage is already quite very good, but it will still improve.
Okay.
I must say, the clients can buy it and keep it, because we cannot keep 7 or 8 vintages
yeah, of course,
in bottles. We try to keep them in bottles for a year or two, and before that it has been in wood. And we don't want to exaggerate with wood, because we want the character of the wine to come out, not only the character of the oak.
You use barriques or grande botte?
We use barriques and tonneaux, really, you know, a bit bigger, 350 liters.
Okay.
And we also use tonneaux also for the second fermentation. Malolactic is already in tonneaux.
Okay.
And
the cuvée is 80% Sangiovese, 20% Cabernet Sauvignon.
Yes, for this wine.
Okay, so we're gonna taste it.
Yes, of course.
So
cheers.
Yeah, I looked the color first, but we can cheers anyway. Yeah, so it's very like ruby, like.
Yes,
yeah.
dark
yeah.
ruby.
But I can see my fingers through a little bit. Yeah?
Brilliant. There's
yeah.
an old poetry which says, "Masseggiara io prendo in mano di brillante Carmignano." If I've taken in my hands a goblet of brilliant Carmignano,
okay.
Così grata in sé mi piove che ambrosia e nectar non invidio a Giove. It comes so nicely into my breast that I don't envy Jupiter's ambrosia and nectar, which are the drinks of the gods. So this was Redi, a famous poet who made a poetry on a poem on Tuscan wines.
Yeah, I think there's a very poetry countryside here anyway. Huh? Like
well,
in Tuscany, it's like very lot of culture.
Very steep hills,
yeah.
And looking on a very wide area plain.
Yeah.
That is also a reason why we have good winds and not humidity, but the nice weather for the. And the name Carmignano is a very old name. I managed, with my friends, to try to have the name back, because unfortunately in the 1930s, they englobated it into the Chianti. It disappeared. It's disappeared for several years. So we have to restart and discuss. And it was very difficult to have the name Carmignano back, because it was a good area and the Chianti people didn't want us to part. But in fact, this is a different area from Middle Ages. It was called Carmignano, yeah. So we are back to this name.
So let's the wine and
my nose is not as good as it was when I was 20 years old, but I can still appreciate this.
Yeah, but it's you have the fruitiness.
Fruitiness.
Fruit.
Yes.
You have the spicy notes. Yeah?
Yes, slightly spicy. Yes.
You have also little aromas from the wood, but very smart. You know, not
too much. Yes.
Not opulent. Yeah, it's good, very good integrated.
That's why we don't use all new wood. We have 1 year, 2 years, 3 years.
Yeah. It reminds me directly of Italy, because Italy for me is always a little bit rustical.
Yes.
So.
comes.
Yeah.
It's a long finish, no?
Wow. Very long.
Long.
And then, it's absolutely true, the tannins are soft, but they're soft, but on the other hand, they're very like, yeah, they're very
Yes,
straight.
yes. But they're not bitter.
No.
No, they're not bitter.
Absolutely not. And the acidity, it's very, you would say high acidity, but anyway, it's very balanced, you know?
Yes.
And it fits to this
Well,
wine.
this is the character of the area, you know. you can do the best of it or spoil it, but the character of the area is kind of this good balance. And this is not our merit.
A compliment. I have to taste once again. It's like,
one of our greatest wine writers, Veronelli, unfortunately is dead now, he said about this wine, si ferma in bocca compiacendola. It lingers into your mouth, pleasing it. Because it has a long lasting, no? It's, tasted.
I can underline it. Very, very good. So I'm curious about the next wine. So this the very good start, yeah, for this interview. So let's go to Ghiaia della Furba. Also, der nächste Wein.
This is Ghiaia della Furba.
2005. Huh?
I must tell you what the name means, no?
Yeah, tell me.
Ghiaia della Furba is a river, and this is in a vineyard which was pebbles from the river Furba, which was a stony vineyard.
Okay.
Where the soil is very well drained, and it's a pebbly soil. So Ghiaia means pebbles. Furba was the name of the river.
Is it the vineyard when you in the entry to go to Capezzana on the right side, where the big rock is?
Well, that is now our Cabernet Sauvignon, but originally it was in that vineyard near the river.
Okay.
Now near the river we have Merlot, which does better, and we realized that Cabernet does better on the hill.
Okay.
The one you saw is in the hill.
Okay. And so the process of the vinification or the blending, it's like very French.
Absolutely. Well,
Yeah.
the varieties are French. We started with Cabernet and Merlot. So it was Bordeaux, kind of blend.
About 40 years ago. 50
Yes,
years.
1947. No, 1979, I'm sorry. 1979.
Okay.
So it was.
I was 2 years old. Okay. Yeah.
Yes. Congratulations.
Yeah. Thank you.
And then we had an experiment with Syrah, a vineyard of Syrah. And Syrah was doing very well.
When was this experiment?
Well, it was like 10 years or 15 years ago.
Okay.
And then I said, what would we do with this Syrah? Because our enologist said it's the best Syrah I've tasted in Italy. So we said, make a new wine, but we have so many wines. Let us try if it goes well in this kind of blend. And it was, in fact, it has completed, because Syrah is a very bottom wine, with the other two, which are very great elegance, and this has also something like a body, and we think it's now a very good blend for us.
And the quantities of Ghiaia della Furba, like the yields, which yields you have for Ghiaia della Furba? Very low, very high? I don't think high, huh? It's like more or less low, like 40, 35 hectoliters per hectare?
Oh yes, a very, very small quantities. Depends on the year, but we're not producing an enormous quantity.
Okay,
it's a wine, this area is getting more and more known, but it's a very small area. We're only about 12 producers.
Yeah.
So
in Germany we say ein halbes Dutzend, ein volles Dutzend. Yeah.
Well, we export a lot because we export to Germany. Germany is a very good client in Europe, and England is a very good client.
Yeah.
And then to America. America has had some problems economical problems, so the
I heard
consumption
about
of wine
it,
was gone down. And to many other countries like Japan, now Russia, the new country, Russia. China is starting a little, because China is interesting.
it's
So
growing.
China, there's
You're selling
90% are poor people,
Yeah,
yes,
yeah.
but 10% are rich people, and 10% on a milliard and a half, it's 160 million, which is more rich people than in Europe. you know.
Yeah, it's incredible. But
So,
yeah,
so it's going to become a market for everything in the future, I think.
yeah, of course. You're going to travel to China sometimes?
No, I've been traveling to Japan many years ago, and with my wife, twice, and I appreciate it very much. I realize there's so different civilizations in China and in Japan.
of course.
Japan, and then flying over Russia, you understand all this enormous land of Russia, full of nothing, only wildness. That has been a great separation between their civilization and ours, much more than an ocean, because an ocean you can always cross it in a boat, but only Attila was able to come through and do disasters in Europe.
Yeah, Attila. And
Flagellum Dei, the Romans called him. Which means,
what was the name?
Flagellum Dei, which means punishment of the gods, because he was.
He did a good job. And if we now let's talk about Ghiaia della Furba once again. It's in how long it stays? It stays only in barricks, right?
All in barricks.
Okay, like
from the beginning, always
the
been
beginning.
in barracks. Yes.
Okay, so like 12 months, 18 months?
Yes,
more or less?
12 months, sometimes 15 months, but you must always taste, with barrique, because you must not over-age in wood, otherwise you feel the wood and the rest disappears. The wood must be a kind of background,
okay.
not in
the fruit.
first position.
Okay, so I read about that, or heard about, I have my spice going around. Like the first bottle from Capezzana was 25. And not
the oldest we have.
Not Ghiaia della Furba, but it was 25.
Yes, the other one.
Yeah.
Because Ghiaia della Furba was born later.
So the first vintage of Ghiaia della Furba was when?
1979.
Okay, 1979. Yeah, you talked. And so it's still drinkable? Like what you can,
yes,
because I think that it's a good alternative for Bordeaux, because they're getting expensive every year, yeah. And we have here a really good wine, which, like I told you before, which as a pirate in the Bordeaux tasting can bomb any Bordeaux way.
Yes, I know. That's why I'm so fond of blind tasting.
Yeah.
Because we had, for example, a great success with our Vinsanto. Our Vinsanto of 2000, vintage 2000, was tasted in England, Wine Challenge. It's a blind tasting with all the wines all over the world, and it was considered the best sweet dessert wine in the world. And there was also very important wines from other countries. I think if it was not blind, perhaps the name of another would influence some very famous French wines, for example.
Okay, so then we taste the Ghiaia della Furba?
Yes.
With pleasure? Okay.
With pleasure on this.
So the color, it's more dark.
More dark, yes, because the French varieties have a lot of color.
Of course, they're thicker,
and particularly Cabernet Sauvignon and Syrah, so it's a dark color. But still, it's very dark ruby, and
this
a
is
very complex nose. Huh?
Very complex. Very complex, very intense. You have like the fruit, like wild berries. You have the cassis. You have Yeah, the spiciness, the like a little bit from the wood, like the
Yes.
cacao,
Yeah,
coffee,
yes,
like espresso.
Yes, you're right.
So this is still young,
Yes.
2005, huh?
I know, yes,
Yeah.
but we cannot.
But we have to taste it anyway, yeah? So, oh, this one is under pressure. It's very
Yes, but at the
long
same
as
time,
well.
it's very, very round.
Yeah, the soft tannins, like once again here.
Soft tannins and very good balance, I think.
Yeah, with the acidity, very they go together very well. Yeah, they're
You don't feel the tannins as much as for example, if you try a very good wine like Brunello, is one of the top wines, but a Brunello of 1 year of age you cannot taste because the tannins are very hard.
yeah.
Instead, this area has soft tannins, which is
So
nature, not us.
So this one, I think, will be, of course, it's nice to drink now for me, and I think also for the audience. But I think the optimum of this wine will be in today is 2011, like 6 years, and I think in 6 years, 5,
Yes,
6.
in the 20s perhaps.
But
even
still can
more.
age very long.
Oh, yes.
Yeah, that's absolutely. So,
But
also really, so this I
and
tell
all these wines improve a lot also with your food because
Yeah.
you enjoy them still more with food.
So, this I have to tell now in German. Also, die Weine von Capezzana, ich meine, wir haben jetzt hier nur so einen kleinen Ausschnitt von dem Sortiment der Villa Capezzana und der Ghiaia della Furba. Absolute Nischenweine, muss man sagen. Carmignano, eine Region, die man sich auf jeden Fall merken sollte. Denn ich finde, wie du erst auch schon gesagt hast, die Tannine sind wirklich sehr, sehr soft. Trotzdem haben die Weine unheimlichen Druck, also Ausdrucksfähigkeit, haben eine extreme Länge und wie ich auch finde, auch ein sehr gutes Alterungspotenzial. Und vom Preis her, denke ich, sind wir hier auch in einem wirklich attraktiven Bereich. Also wir werden die Weine auf jeden Fall weiterverfolgen. Thanks a lot for the interview. Yeah, it was a pleasure to come here. And I hope, in Germany we say Hals- und Beinbruch because, you go skiing. No?
Yes, I still ski.
With quite
I'm
nice
the oldest
years.
skier in Betone where I go skiing.
Also vergesst, was ihr über Tomba la Bomba gehört habt. Also ich denke, wir haben hier eine
I've been skiing 80 years.
Okay.
So they gave me a free ticket for the whole season. I don't pay for the ski lifts.
Muss man sich erstmal vorstellen. That's good. So I wish you, for you and your family, everything good, luckiness,
Thank you very
happiness,
much.
healthiness and
The same to you.
ja, thank you. Und ich hoffe, ihr habt Spaß gehabt, habt ein paar Eindrücke gehabt von Carmignano, Capezzana. Ich hoffe, wir sehen uns beim nächsten Clip.